Hello people, today I'm going to be doing a review of Tick, Tick, Boom. This is a brand new musical released on Netflix starring Andrew Garfield. I knew little to nothing going into it, and I slowly learned that it's about the real-life person, Jonathan Larson, that wrote many plays but sadly died at 35. I'm not a musical head. I've seen two musicals this year. I've seen In the Heights and I've seen this, and I thought In the Heights was good. It's just musicals are not my thing, and I I'm one of those people that that kind of questions the point of them, and so, but I don't let that affect my review. If I think the movie's good at the end of the day, I'm gonna give it a good review. I'm not gonna tell you a movie's bad just because of it's a musical, and but this musical, I kind of thought a lot of the singing, I kind of justified it a lot in my head because a lot of it revolves around performing musicals itself. So we see like about half of the singing that we see is performed. So I get that side of it and the fact that he's trying to write the musical. I get that side of it. And then there's the other half of the singing where, it's just kind of a musical. And so that part I was just kind of like, okay, and just go through it. And the other half of the singing, I was like, okay, so I see what you're doing here. And so I found myself rather liking this one a lot more than I did like In the Heights, even though like In the Heights might be maybe technically better, but I still think this movie is a little bit technically better. Anyways, but singing or not, and then In the Heights. And let's talk about Andrew Garfield because his performance was out of this world. Wow, I thought that Will Smith gave a great performance, and now I'm just kind of can't talk, debating between my head. Who did I think was better, Garfield or Smith? Smith. I still can't decide. I think both of them are really great in their role, and I think so far both of them are front runner for best lead. Garfield's definitely winning the Golden Globe for best lead in comedy or musical, like without question. And yeah, the story was very relatable, and I really appreciated that about the movie because it has a lot of, well, first off, it's also coming of age story, but it's also about Garfield's character trying to come up with something, and that's something I can really relate to because the last year or so I've been trying to form a script in my head of something I would want to make, and lately, I completely started one and I worked on it for months, and last week I completely scrapped it. So I get the feeling, and now I'm trying to come up with new ideas. And so there's a lot of good messages there with that, where I thought it was kind of inspiring on my end to see him finally put something together. And so that's something I really related to in the movie. And I text my friend halfway through watching this. I was like, I find this movie more relatable than Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. And, Spider-Man, he's like the very essence of what he's supposed to be. Garfield, like, Spider-Man's supposed to be relatable. And I found Andrew Garfield's Jonathan Larson more related than I felt to his Peter Parker. And so that says a lot about his performance, and that says a lot about how I think of the Amazing Spider-Man movies, because I respect elements of the Amazing Spider-Man movies, but I don't love them. And I really didn't want to bring up Spider-Man in this review, but here we are. But I didn't connect it to No Way Home, because I know that's what Garfield's tired of. So, there we go. I justified it. But, yeah, there was, like I said, a lot of strong performances. There was a lot of very touching moments. For like maybe the first 50 minutes or so, this movie is about an hour and 55 minutes. For the first like 50 minutes, I was just kind of like getting through it. Like, it was an average musical to me. I remember saying to myself, I was like, this is good, but, it's not my thing. I'm going to probably give this like an 8 out of 10. But, like, that last hour really grabbed me. And I don't know what it was and what snapped, but I know, like, the last hour I went from trying my best to stay awake to completely invested. So, I might say this movie has a slow start, but for musical lovers, it might have a fast start and a slow end. It's all about taste, really, with musicals. And that's what film's all about. It's all about taste. But yeah, this movie, like the last hour and a half, like this movie would easily be one of the year's best if the first 50 minutes grabbed me more and it was more, and if I enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed the last hour. But this is still, like I said, this is like, I've seen about 50-ish movies. This is still in one of the better movies I've seen this year. I don't think it's top 10, but it's very close to top 10. I think I'm definitely going to mention this in my top 10 of the year video, at least as an honorable mention. So don't think I didn't like the movie, but for someone for this movie to speak to me the way that it did, and for to be, and I'm not the target audience at all. And for a movie for me to be as moved as I was, I think that's quite an accomplishment. I want to give Tick Tick Boom an 8.5 out of 10. Really impressed by this movie. Go check it out. I'd recommend this movie even if you're not a musical fan. If you absolutely hate musicals and you just don't want to see it, I don't know if I could recommend this movie, but I could sit through it and be fine, so that's why I went ahead and checked it out. So yeah. Anyways, comment down below what you guys thought about this movie if you guys checked it out. So yeah. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that, and adios.